Alright, hello YouTube, hello everyone. Right here at the beginning, I'd like to ask you to please consider, if you like this message, to subscribe to our channel. I'm the father of a now 16-year-old boy who, not figuratively, but literally, is the best 16-year-old boxer on the planet. I've trained him. He's had a world champion, IBF world champion, do some training with him, and another professional. But predominantly he's had me training him. And he's really that good. So stick around, folks, because what you're seeing around here is a dad and a son, and in the son, a world champion in the making. We talk about a lot of issues around here, a lot of worldly things that are going on in this world. We talk about Christ a lot. He is our King. We talk about evil versus good a lot as well in this world today. And we try to make young people aware of the evils of this earth as well. A lot's been going on. The Olympics are happening right now in Paris, the Summer Olympics. The debauchery and filth and pervertedness with these people in Paris are monumentally sick. We've seen two men whom were disqualified in world competitive amateur boxing because they are real men, private parts and all, be able to compete in the Olympics against women. And today we saw one of the matches. It looked like the Taiwanese guy tried to hold back on his pummeling of this girl, but he won every second of every round throughout against a Uzbekistan girl. We've seen him in a previous fight. He almost killed a Mexican girl. Her face looked like she'd come out of a bad beating. Something you don't see in amateur boxing at the men's level, at heavyweight. You never see faces come out looking like that battered and that bruised. We've seen a lot. We've seen another guy, I can't remember from one of the, I believe, African countries, a Muslim country. Both these guys, I believe, are Muslim, who are pretending to be women, almost kill an Italian female boxer. And it's very sad. Her dad died 3 days prior to that Olympic boxing match. And he smirked in her face. He knew her situation. He didn't care. These people don't care. These people that you see that maybe your mom and dad vote for, maybe you're an adult and your parents and your grandparents have voted for this party. But I'm here to tell you they're sick and they're diseased in the brain. I want to tell you something from an older fellow perspective. When I was younger, and this would have been, I believe, the mid-70s, I watched a news program, and the news program was taken from the BBC in England. And they were openly talking, openly. There was no recourse to truth back then like there is now. Now you can't tell any truth. And a lot of people, especially Londoners in London, were upset at the fact that, especially the older folk there, they were like, where are all these Indians coming from? Now, when I say Indians, I'm not speaking of American Indians, I'm speaking of India Indians. And the subject was raised that Britain was letting in all these Indians because they had a white guilt complex because they ruled over India for so long. But none of us need forget that Gandhi said that the best thing that ever happened to India was that the British came and they ruled. Although he was fighting for autonomy for India, he was an intelligent man when there used to be adult reasoning. And he said that the greatest thing that ever happened to India was British rule, because it helped modernize a very backward and reflected culture. But the show centered in on white guilt in England. And this is back, I believe it was the mid-70s, could have been the early 70s. It was so long ago, it's hard for me to remember the year, but I surely remember the program. We all thought, how weird, what in the hell are the people in Britain thinking to allow this to go on? Because they were just being influxed by migrants from India, and they were allowing it to happen, and the psychologists and psychiatrists and all these bigwigs were saying they have what is called white guilt. Now, I do believe, and I want y'all to know, I'm university degreed in history, so I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I'm not the dumbest in the basket either. I see a true plotted course here, and what has happened, it started in England. And the liberal population in North America seen that that was really working. So they started using it. And you've got slowly but surely chipping away lies, talking about racism where racism does not exist. The media playing the major role in it. And as a matter of fact, the media role, until it is crushed and taken out of the equation the way it is now, because that's not free press, it's just propaganda. However, they've propagated this white guilt into open borders all across Europe. And I want to be honest on something in a few minutes. I'm going to really be smashed here. There's nothing race that I'm talking about. It's not racism. It's wanting to have the peoples in your own country. For example, in the United States, a lot of blacks and whites combined do not like the fact that we are being influxed right now by South American populations. The African American community has a deep-rooted, we've seen it, a deep-rooted hate for Africans, black Africans. There's no camaraderie there. And it might be in the neighborhood where you live in the U.S., but on the whole, there's no camaraderie between African Americans and Africans. None at all. That is probably the deepest, if you wanted to label something racist, thing that's going on right now. Things are quelled and suppressed and put down. You're not being told the truth, irrespective of who you are, what your color is, what your religion is, what anything is. You're not being dealt open, sunlit truth. You're being kept in the concealment of the dark. And you need to wake up to that. Woke is being in total concealment of the dark. Being awake is being in the light, because it's honesty and it's truth. A man is not a woman. A woman is not a man. What you think in your head, it will never happen, and it will never be the truth there. We've got 6,000 years of recorded history to prove that. Before then, well, I'll move on. The powers to be in the UK, in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Spain, throughout Europe, started figuring out what was naturally occurring, which was about bad guilt complex with Englanders to the India population. They've capitalized on and they've used in full force against all cultures and societies in Western Europe and North America to subdue, tear down, and crush. So that's just a little bit of leading up to what's been happening. Now, as for my son and I, we choose to fight like hell to stop this liberal, perverted mess. A man is a woman is a man, all this perverted stuff, it's no good. It's no good. We are Christians. We're not apologizing to any of you for that. Our Bible is very clear. A man laying with a man working that which is unseemly in the bed is reprobate. And a woman laying with a woman doing the same is reprobate. There is nothing okay about that, nothing sane in head or heart about that. Nothing. Well, how do you... Well, we already know, because in Christianity and in most religions and in most human decency, you're just born knowing to take one woman, or if you're a woman, to take one husband. You don't even have to have a religion to be taught to you to understand these things. The example I will give you is a guy's married to a woman, yet he's out here sleeping with 3 or 4 other women. That is not right. It is wrong. And the man with man and woman thing is put into a separate category, which is called reprobate. It's even worse than what I just mentioned on a cheating husband or a cheating wife. But make no mistake about it, adultery, promiscuity, fornication are deadly sins. And they were called the deadly sins. They were called the deadly sins for good reason, because they will give you an eternal death. And we truly understand and full well know this around here. So we're not apologizing to any of you. Now, to the boxing community, what really upsets us so much about the boxing community is we don't have boxers speaking up. We have we do have some, but it is a small percentage. We're one count in that percentage of folks that are speaking up. But the boxing community in sport seems to me to be the most hypocritical group of people in all of the sporting world. You look over at the NBA basketball, they're just going full woke, but the majority of their fans are going full woke too. Boxing is a sport where you can unwake somebody very quickly, and that's our intentions moving on in the future. And it'll be done in the ring. And if anything comes along outside the ring, it'll be done on the outside of the ropes. We don't fuck around here. Boxing is serious. It can be deadly. It is a vicious, cruel sport. And there's no room for it here. So we're making our stand in boxing. Most of the boxing channel, U.S. related, now I'm talking U.S., United States related, more of your channels are, and your content creators in boxing are African Americans. And we're upset with the African American boxing community. We ain't upset with you because of the color of your skin. We're upset with you because you're stupid and you're hypocrites. And those of you who aren't, who happen to be African American, you know we're not talking about you. But I have sat back for years and seen so many African American boxing channels, and we watch more of them because there are more of them. Talking about they love God, I thank the Lord, Christ is my King. And the majority of these channels are silent right now. I'm going to name a couple of them because that are pretty big. I don't know the name of the channel, but I believe it's True Boxing Media. I could be wrong on that. But you can look up Coach Malachi. This guy was online Saturday doing a live. This is just but one example. And talking about a professional female boxing match, and him and the clowns that watch his punk ass. He's nothing but a big mouth. That's all this effeminate punk ass bitch is. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I will meet him. I'll get on an airplane. He can go anywhere he wants to go. We're men here. You know, we're not shit talking. We're men. He's on there. I raise up. Another person raises up. Then another person raises up. Let's talk about this. You know, you're on women's boxing now. Why won't you talk about what's going on with these men in the Olympic boxing? Act like he didn't see nothing. I don't know, maybe he's put up a statement now because I've been calling his punk ass out. And others have with bigger channels have been calling him out. Blue Blood Sport over there, that is the name of the channel. Same thing, sitting over there talking about women's boxing. Don't want to bring up, don't even want to touch it because it interferes with their punk ass liberal, homo-driven politics. And that's the bottom line. Because I said so. And because it's truth. And we've got to counter these people. And these people need to be called out. Now, on the other end of that spectrum, the only pure boxing channel, and we are probably subscribed to 200 boxing channels, folks, maybe 500. But the only boxing channel where I've gotten any type of alert to talk about this mess and this evilness in these Olympics, from the opening of the games and these men fighting and women boxing, talking about both issues, has just been Punch Drunk Boxing. It's just been him. The only I've seen, we're sitting over here so shadow banned it's not funny, but it's because we've been giving life situations, we've been talking about issues for several years now. And about a year ago, we really started getting the umbrella put in front of us, and getting shadowed, put in the shadows. This guy's the only one. I don't see nobody else talking about it. I still see, as a matter of fact, I'm not seeing I'm not getting any alerts from African American channels. It could be that they've just blocked me out. It could be. Because when you're effeminate, and your mother has more testosterone running through her body than you do, you will block somebody. We don't have that problem around here. My wife's got a lot of estrogen, and I got a lot of testosterone. We've got a biblical family up in here, although we're not perfect by any means. We fall short every day, all the time. But we're going to honor God's name. We're going to exalt that name. We're going to stand up when we see bad things, and we're going to voice it. And we don't rightly give a damn who don't like it. We're men up in here. Joe's telling me daily the same things. So if we're going to go down, we choose to go down fighting. Simple process. The rest of you are going to go down eternally. You best believe it.